This is video 192, and the goal of this video is to convert an equation of a circle to standard form. So we've already worked with the general form of an equation of a circle, but now we're going to work with ones that aren't in standard form. So just as a quick review, the standard form of a circle is x minus h, quantity squared, plus y minus k, quantity squared, equals r squared, where r is the radius and h and k are the center. Now, what you see below is everything all multiplied out. They multiplied everything out and it happens to equal 0. So what we have to do is we have to complete the square, not once, but 2 times. So everything you've been doing with complete a square continues in this chapter. So we're going to continue to fine-tune that skill and make sure that we know how to do it now with multiple variables. So I'm going to take, but I'm worrying about completing the square. So my first step is to rearrange the x's. So they're next to each other, the y's, so they're next to each other, and I'm actually going to move the 29 to the other side. So I now have 2 sections where I'm going to complete the square. I'm going to complete the square here, and I'm going to complete the square here. So let's start with the x's. To complete the square, I would think of my generic rectangle, x squared. I need negative 14x altogether, so negative 7x in both corners. And that would mean there'd be 49 in this corner. So the perfect square for the x's is going to be x minus 7 squared. But notice I need an additional 49 in order to complete the square. So what's different about with circles and completing the square is since I'm adding 49 onto the left side of my equation, I'm actually going to add 49 onto the right side of my equation. So we're thinking of adding those terms on, or if it's a negative, then we subtract it off, but we got to do things to both sides because we have 2 sides of an equation. I'm going to do the same process with the y's. I'm going to complete the square on the other side. I'm going to think, okay, 8y's got to split evenly. So now I'm left with y plus 4 on the outside and 16 in that corner. So my y's are going to be y plus 4 squared, and I've created an extra 16, so I need to cancel that off on the other side by adding 16. So I'm doing the same things to both sides. We used to always subtract them off on the same side, cancel them, but since we're working with a radius that we want on the other side of the equation, we're going to add them on to the other side. So now my circle is almost complete. I'm just going to simplify the left side here. I'm going to do that addition and see I get 36. So now I have my circle written in standard form. It's x minus 7 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 36. So I can see my center of 7 comma negative 4, and I can see my radius of 6, which is the whole goal here. If I wanted to graph this, I would need to know those 2 pieces of information. So I have the information I need because I've completed the square. So we're just changing the look of everything by keeping everything balanced and equal. So again, same process. We'll do another one, we'll make the graph, and then you'll move on to your checkpoint. Nice short video for tonight. So now we have x squared minus 4x. We're going to put the x's together and the y's together. And we're going to put the 15 on the other side. So I'm going to complete the square twice. I'm going to complete the square with the x's. And when I complete the square, I'm going to end up with x squared and negative 2x in each corner. Creates a 4. So in the end, it'll be x minus 2 squared. It created a 4, so I'm going to add that on the other side. Now I'm going to do it again, but with the y's. So y squared, it's going to put 6 y's in both corners. It'll make 36 in the top corner, so I have to add 36 on the other side of the equation. And my completed square for the y is y plus 6 squared equals, and I add up on the right-hand side, and it looks like I'm going to get 25. So remember that means my radius is 5 because 5 squared is 25. My center is 2 comma negative 6 because In standard form, it needs to be x minus the quantity squared and y minus the quantity squared. So I'm going to graph my circle by going to 2, -6, finding my center, finding my radius of 5, going in both directions. Of course, I'm off the graph, and then I'm sketching my circle. So this one would be down at 2, -11. So that's all it is with circles. Completing the square. The extra step is to add the same thing to both sides to complete those squares. And that keeps the equations balanced because we're on opposite sides of the equation. So now your job for your check is to try and complete the square for the following problem. I'll make it a little bit bigger for you. And make a quick sketch. So be sure to bring that into class with you when the day the video is due. So complete the square and write it in standard form, then give the center radius. There is a Google form for this video, so make sure you complete the Google form online and submit your answers before class.